What up, YouTube? So, I figured I'd just stream some Dora today. Anyway, so I figured I'd show this shelf where I could actually see what I'm showing. And at the same time, it's going to be a little of an ode to someone. So, sorry if it's going to be shaky. I got all these balls, and I was actually thinking about putting them right there, but it's actually not a bad spot for that jersey. There's a couple things I wish I could fit up here. One being this Tommy, like, alternate thing. Maybe even this Albert Bell. But, oh man, I wanted to throw up my old school DVD cases. I've got Major League on Blu-ray. The second one, you know, I'll never buy again. And then we got the Pez dispenser. Anyway, so, yeah, we got balls. We got the booklet. Some more balls. The bat. I wonder if that's any better. A little bit. Not so much of a glare anyway. That's the Santana row. And then we move down. Hi. Wave. She got gum. Anyway, need to pull the sticker off of that Brantley. You can't even see his head. And that's a sick autograph too. So there we go. Dun, 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 dun. Man, I saw the new Kenny Lofton out of Gypsy Queen. Holy moly, that thing's awesome. Got our little Indian Volkswagen bus. Man, I mean, I had more autographs. You know, some of them are like dudes that aren't even Indians anymore, or they're like old prospect cards that they never panned out or whatever. So I didn't bother putting them on there. Again, the only thing non-Indian is the Steven Jackson mini helmet. Here's the Santanas that wouldn't fit on the shelf. And the Roger Dorn. So 101. I figured, yeah, I'm going to have to throw some stuff on the side. I threw that up there. But, what? Did you swallow it? Let me see. Where's your gum? Okay, go watch cartoons. So, I realized, I didn't realize it. I always knew it. But as I'm looking at all this stuff, I guess it came to my attention that I need to give a huge shout out and props to basically my best friend, because I don't have very many friends, to be honest. But again, I've known him my whole life. And you guys already know that's James, FightOn52. And, you know, we grew up together. We collected when we were kids together. And he's the one that got me back into it with that Travis Hafner autograph. That's pretty much what did it. Do not touch the shelf. Yeah. You want to play with the Indian bus? There you go. So, but I wanted to point out a fact that now James, when it came to YouTube, he's the one that got me on YouTube also. He has been super generous at times with other tubers, people that he's made friends with, and to the point sometimes where I'm like, man, you're nuts. But what I wanted to do was like, so when you guys are like, oh man, James hooked me up with this, like, honestly, you guys don't have any idea of what James has hooked me up with. I will start out with that mini helmet. That triple threads. That Sabathia. I just showed it. That Tommy. Where is it? Top left up there. That's Johnny Peralta. Somebody bought a mystery ball, and they pulled that, and they were all pissed, and they were like, "Screw it, man! Let's just go play baseball with it." And James was like, "No, I know a good place for it." So he hooked me up with that. He hooked me up with that. Not just the card, but the case as well. And then there's you know the couple things, the bat and the 101 that I've either traded or bought. But at the same time, had James not grabbed those somehow, I would never have got them. Travis Hafner, Kenny Lofton, Manny Ramirez, Cliff Lee, that Carmona, that Victor Martinez, that Sandy, that Chisenhall, that Titanic Threads of Santana. Gosh, what else? There's just so much stuff, man. James was going to throw that Perez into a mystery pack one time, and I was like, dude, hook me up with that card. And one of the few times I think I've ever asked somebody, hey, can I have that? In fact, it might be the only time, I don't know. Now, I've asked James not to trade things away because I wanted to get it from him somehow. He was like, well, why? He's in his Cardinals stuff. And I was like, that's all there is out there. Thank you. You're done chewing your gum? Okay. Good girl. Let's put it up there. And he did. He was like, there you go. Take it. Actually, you know, I might have traded something. I might have traded something for that one. I'm not sure. Anyway, I know there's other ones that I'm missing. Boom, the Gaudy Graph Victor. That came from James. That Chisenhall might have. The Lindor, I traded for that one. There's other stuff too, and this is just Indian stuff. We can get into football another day because there's a lot more. It sucks because I know there's something missing that is like awesome that I'm forgetting about. But anyway, you guys kind of get the point. I mean, a lot of these, you know, what I consider is a really big addition to my PC, like with the Steven Jackson helmet and like that Sabathia back there and the Cliff Lee jersey auto. Like, man, the Kenny Lofton and Manny Ramirez. Man, Victor Martinez back card. These are like huge additions to my collection. And I think James hooked me up with that Masterson. The Lindors, not all of them have came from James, but I think which one? I think that one came from Truth 17, and I think, but that one, and that one all came from James. So I mean, you get the point, and on top of that, like, you know, he gave me that little pile yesterday, and this is just baseball. I'd literally have to go like through this little stack, and bam, Joe Inglet came from James. A lot of these have. A lot of these I've bought too. Bam, that Kelly Shoppick, I'm pretty sure came from James. It might not have. I apologize if it didn't. Man, I don't know. Oh, those did. The who is this one? Tony Wolters and Tyler Holt, USA stuff. So I mean, yeah. Bam, that box topper came from James. The Beckett right there. The huge Manny card. That Beckett. These are all, and like I said, there's a lot of football in this pile. That's Steven Jackson. These are Beavers. I mean, I guess Steven Jackson is a Beaver, but that's there's a lot of stuff. In fact, I would literally say 95% of the Steven Jacksons that I have came from James. That's all there is to it. He unloaded on me when I got. I'll put it this way: when I got back into collecting, I went over to his place one time, and what we were doing is James had this system going where, like, out of the boxes there was everybody was alphabetized by sport and by player and everything, and so we basically what we were doing was top loading just a ton of cards, and you know, and at the time I only had a few things. Like, it started off, James hooked me up with that Hafner, and then I remember going to the card shop for the first time in like a decade, or if not more, and then buying that Sizemore. Anyway, so we're going through all these cards, and this wasn't even just baseball stuff. James was like, well, what players do you like? And I was having a hard time thinking of any, because, you know, pretty much once you leave the Indians, you're pretty much dead to me. And every other team's dead to me too. But anyway, so I was, you know, I threw some players out and stuff that that I liked. It's funny because Nick Swisher was actually one of them, and now he's an Indian. And James hooked me up with just tons and tons of stuff. Like, I literally went home that night with like a box full of crap. And like, when I was collecting Buccaneers, a lot of Bucks went home with me. Just stuff like that. And anyway, I just wanted to point that out, that you know, it might not be, you know, $100 card or, you know, or anything like that, like, you know, the highlight of your collection, but there's so much stuff that James has hooked me up with that yeah, I needed to say something. I mean, because I start looking at this stuff and it's like, man, if James still had all this crap, he'd have a pretty mean Indians collection, you know? So, anyway, just wanted to throw that out there. For you guys that, you know James through basically the internet, being, you know, and it's more than that, I know. YouTube buds and all that kind of stuff. I've known this guy personally my entire life, and they don't come better. That's all there is to it. They don't come better. So, with that said, somebody threw out there, it was like 67% homo. This is full-blown 100%. James, if you were not married, I would leave my family and come snuggle. So, anyway, boom, there's the shelf. You got a good long look at it. I showed everything ton. I spoke gaily about James. And, yeah, I'm still waiting on a couple things. They haven't came yet. And I'm pretty bummed about that. But, watching this, friggin' Tigers game. Detroit's up. Indians 2-0. What? What? Backpack? James? Yeah, anyway. So, that'll do it. This video is super long, but I wanted to show this stuff like in detail, or in depth, I guess. And also give my little 2 cents on what James has done for this collection and all that. So anyway, thanks for watching. I know it's super long. We're like 18 minutes. So anyway, later guys.